In a bustling city where skyscrapers touched the clouds and luxury was abundant, there lived a billionaire named Alexander. He was known not only for his immense wealth, but also for his sharp business acumen. Yet, beneath his polished exterior, he felt a nagging emptiness in his life. He longed for genuine connections and the kind of kindness that seemed increasingly rare in his world. One evening, feeling particularly introspective, Alexander decided to step out of his comfort zone. He wanted to experience life from a different perspective, so he crafted a plan. Disguising himself as a homeless man, he wore tattered clothes, let his beard grow out, and walked the streets of his city, seeking a place to spend the night. As he wandered through the vibrant neighborhoods, he was struck by the stark contrast between the opulence of the high-end boutiques and the struggles of those living on the streets. Despite the chill in the air, Alexander's heart warmed at the thought of what he might learn from this experience. After several hours of walking, he found himself in a quieter part of town. It was there that he encountered an unassuming little shelter run by a kind-hearted woman named Maria. The sign outside read, "Maria's Haven," a place that welcomed anyone in need. As Alexander approached, he noticed a modest vegetable garden flourishing beside the building, a testament to Maria's dedication and care. That evening, as the sun began to set, he knocked on the door. Maria opened it, her face lighting up with a warm smile. She was a woman in her late 50s, with kind eyes that seemed to see straight into the souls of others. "Welcome. How can I help you?" she asked, her voice soothing. "I'm just looking for a place to sleep," Alexander replied, keeping his tone low and weary. "I don't have any money." Without hesitation, Maria gestured for him to enter. "Come in, dear. You're safe here. I have a spare room where you can rest." As he stepped inside, he was struck by the warmth of the small shelter. It was simple but filled with an abundance of love. The walls were adorned with photographs of smiling faces, previous guests whom Maria had helped over the years. He could feel the kindness radiating from her, and it touched his heart. "Would you like something to eat?" Maria asked as she prepared a modest meal. "I made some soup. It's not much, but it will warm you up." Alexander was taken aback by her generosity. Despite having little, Maria offered what she had without hesitation. He accepted her offer, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. As they sat together, sharing a meal, he learned about her life. Maria spoke passionately about her mission to help those less fortunate, sharing stories of people she had welcomed into her home. "I believe everyone deserves a second chance," she said, her eyes sparkling with conviction. "Sometimes, all it takes is a little kindness to turn someone's life around." That night, Alexander fell asleep in Maria's spare room, overwhelmed by the warmth of her hospitality. He dreamed of the lives she had touched and the hope she instilled in those who crossed her path. When morning came, he awoke with a sense of clarity he hadn't felt in years. Maria's goodness had reignited a spark within him. After a heartfelt breakfast, Alexander knew he couldn't leave without doing something meaningful for Maria. As he stepped outside, he felt a newfound sense of purpose. He decided to reveal his true identity and the plan he had devised for her. Returning to the shelter, he found Maria tidying up the garden. "Maria," he called, and she turned to face him, her smile still radiant. "I need to tell you something." He took a deep breath and removed his disguise, revealing the well-tailored suit beneath. Maria's eyes widened in shock. You're Alexander Hart, the billionaire?" "Yes," he replied, smiling gently. "I came here to learn about kindness and humility, and you've shown me more than I could have ever imagined. Your heart is pure, and I want to give back to you." Maria looked confused, her brow furrowing. "But I didn't do anything special. I just offered you a place to sleep." "Exactly," he said. "You showed me that true wealth lies not in money, but in kindness and compassion. Because of that, I want to build you a new home, one that reflects the love you have for others and provides a safe space for those in need." Tears welled in Maria's eyes as she shook her head in disbelief. "I couldn't accept that. I'm grateful for what I have. This shelter is enough." "But it's not just about you," Alexander insisted. "You deserve to have a space where you can continue your work and inspire others. I want to help you expand your mission." After much heartfelt discussion, Maria realized that accepting this gift wouldn't just benefit her, it would enable her to reach even more people. With a grateful heart, she agreed, and together, they began planning a new shelter that would not only house those in need but also provide resources for skill development and job training. In the months that followed, Alexander and Maria worked tirelessly to bring the vision to life. They organized fundraising events, engaging the community and sharing Maria's inspiring story. The response was overwhelming, and soon they had enough resources to build a beautiful new shelter that would be a beacon of hope for many. When the grand opening day arrived, the new shelter was a sight to behold. With spacious rooms, a community kitchen, and a vibrant garden, it was a sanctuary designed to nurture and uplift those who sought help. The community came together to celebrate, and as Maria stood before the crowd, she spoke with gratitude and love. "This is not just my dream, it's ours," she said, her voice full of emotion. "Together, we can create a world where kindness reigns and everyone has a chance to thrive." As Alexander watched her, he felt a sense of fulfillment that he had never known. Maria had changed his life as much as he had transformed hers. They had forged an unbreakable bond, united by their shared commitment to making the world a better place. In the years that followed, the shelter flourished. Maria became a pillar of the community, known for her unwavering dedication to helping others. Alexander continued to support her initiatives, funding various programs that empowered individuals to build better lives for themselves. Their story became a testament to the power of compassion and generosity. Alexander had not only found a friend in Maria but also rediscovered the joy of giving and the importance of connection. As they stood together in the garden of the shelter one sunny afternoon, Alexander turned to Maria and said, "You've taught me that kindness is the greatest form of wealth. Thank you for showing me what truly matters in life." Maria smiled, her heart full. "And you've shown me that even the smallest act of kindness can create a ripple effect, changing lives in ways we can't even imagine." Together, they continued to inspire others, proving that no matter one's circumstances, there is always room for kindness, compassion, and the transformative power of friendship. Their journey was a beautiful reminder that when we lift each other up, we all rise together. As the years rolled on, the shelter became a hub of activity, not just for those seeking help, but also for community events and workshops that Maria organized. Each month, they hosted skill-building sessions, cooking classes, and job fairs, drawing in people from all walks of life. The impact of the shelter extended far beyond its walls, creating a ripple effect of hope and opportunity throughout the community. One day, as Alexander visited the shelter, he found Maria sitting in the garden, surrounded by a group of young adults eager to learn. They were discussing entrepreneurship, a topic that had become increasingly relevant as many sought to start their own businesses after gaining skills from the workshops. Maria had taken it upon herself to nurture their aspirations, encouraging them to dream big. "Maria, it's incredible to see how these young people are blossoming," Alexander remarked, watching as she animatedly engaged with the group. "You're not just giving them a roof over their heads, you're empowering them to build futures." Maria smiled, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "They have so much potential, and I want to help them realize it. Many of them just need someone to believe in them." Feeling inspired, Alexander proposed an idea. "What if we created a small fund to help these aspiring entrepreneurs get started? We could provide microloans to those who show promise and dedication." Maria's eyes widened in delight. "That would be amazing. It could truly change lives." With that, they set to work, creating a fund dedicated to supporting the dreams of young entrepreneurs in the community. They collaborated with local banks and businesses to secure additional resources, ensuring that their initiative would have a lasting impact. The first recipients of the microloans were a group of young women who dreamed of starting a catering business. They had honed their culinary skills during Maria's cooking classes and were eager to turn their passion into a profitable venture. With the support of the fund, they secured the capital they needed to purchase equipment and ingredients. On the day of their launch, the excitement was palpable. Maria and Alexander joined the community in celebrating their new business. The women set up a small food stall outside the shelter, offering samples of their signature dishes. As the community gathered to support them, it was evident that this was more than just a catering service, it was a symbol of hope and resilience. "Thank you, Maria, and thank you, Alexander," one of the young women exclaimed, her voice trembling with emotion. "You believed in us when no one else did. This is our chance to make a difference." As they served delicious food to the delighted crowd, Alexander looked at Maria, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. This is what it's all about, creating opportunities and fostering a sense of community. With the success of the microloan initiative, word spread quickly, and soon more individuals approached Maria and Alexander with ideas and dreams of their own. Each story was unique, filled with determination and the desire to change their circumstances. One day, a single father named James came to Maria seeking help. He had lost his job and was struggling to support his young daughter. He shared his dream of opening a small bike repair shop, as he had always been skilled with his hands and loved fixing bikes. His passion was evident, but he lacked the funds to get started. Maria listened intently and offered him encouragement. "James, I believe in your skills. If you can put together a business plan, we can consider a microloan for you." With newfound hope, James worked tirelessly to create his plan. Maria and Alexander provided guidance, helping him refine his ideas and set realistic goals. After a few weeks, James returned with a comprehensive plan, showcasing his vision for the shop. "Let's make this happen," Alexander said, approving the loan with enthusiasm. "You have the passion and the skills. We're here to support you." James beamed with gratitude, overwhelmed by the support he had received. With the loan secured, he opened his bike repair shop, quickly gaining a loyal customer base from the community. His dedication and hard work transformed not only his life, but also the lives of those around him. As the months passed, the shelter became a thriving ecosystem of entrepreneurship, kindness, and mutual support. Maria and Alexander continued to foster this environment, encouraging collaboration among the entrepreneurs and creating mentorship opportunities. They brought in successful business owners to share their experiences, inspiring the next generation of leaders. Through their combined efforts, they organized community events that showcased the talents of the shelter's entrepreneurs. Farmers markets, craft fairs, and food festivals became regular occurrences, drawing in crowds eager to support local businesses. The community thrived as people discovered the incredible stories behind each product and service. As the shelter's impact grew, so did its reputation. Alexander's efforts in supporting local entrepreneurship garnered media attention, and soon they were invited to speak at conferences and events across the country. They shared their vision of kindness and empowerment, encouraging others to invest in their communities and uplift those in need. One day, during a speaking engagement, Alexander reflected on his journey. "When I first disguised myself as a homeless man, I sought to understand the struggles of others. What I found was a woman with a heart of gold, Maria. She opened my eyes to the power of kindness and the importance of believing in one another." After the event, a young woman approached him, her eyes filled with determination. "Your story inspired me. I want to create change in my community, just like you and Maria. How can I start?" With a smile, Alexander replied, "Start small. Believe in yourself, seek support, and never underestimate the impact of a single act of kindness. Together, we can build a better world." As they exchanged contact information, Alexander felt hopeful. The seed of change had been planted in yet another heart, and he knew that the ripple effect would continue. Back at the shelter, Maria and Alexander celebrated their success with the entrepreneurs. They gathered for a potluck dinner, each person bringing a dish that reflected their culture and journey. Laughter filled the air as they shared stories, dreams, and plans for the future. In that moment, surrounded by warmth and camaraderie, Alexander felt a profound sense of belonging. He had found a family in this community, a family built on shared values, compassion, and the unwavering belief that together, they could overcome any challenge. As the sun set, casting a golden glow over the garden, Maria raised her glass in a toast. To kindness, to dreams, and to the power of community. May we always lift each other up. Everyone echoed her sentiment, their voices united in celebration. Alexander looked around, his heart full of gratitude. He realized that this journey had transformed him in ways he had never imagined. In giving, he had received far more in return: friendship, purpose, and a deep sense of fulfillment. As the night wore on, they shared their hopes for the future, planning even bigger initiatives to further support their community. With Maria leading the charge and Alexander providing resources, they were determined to create a legacy of empowerment that would endure for generations. And so, as they embraced the challenges and joys that lay ahead, they knew one thing for certain: together, they could change lives, inspire dreams, and prove that in a world where kindness often feels rare, it can thrive when nurtured with love and compassion. As the weeks turned into months, the shelter flourished not just as a haven for those in need, but as a vibrant community center. Maria and Alexander's vision of empowering individuals through entrepreneurship continued to expand. The success of James's bike repair shop sparked a wave of inspiration, and soon the shelter was filled with stories of transformation. One day, a group of teenagers approached Maria, eager to learn how they could contribute. They had seen the impact of the shelter on their neighborhood and wanted to start a project of their own. "We'd like to create a community garden," one of the girls, Lisa, said, her eyes shining with enthusiasm. "We can grow vegetables and flowers and invite everyone to help." Maria's heart swelled with pride. "That sounds like a wonderful idea. Gardening can teach us so much about patience, teamwork, and nurturing life. I would love to help you get started." With Maria's guidance, the teens mapped out a plan for the garden. They sought donations of seeds, tools, and soil from local businesses, and to their delight, the community rallied behind them. Neighbors donated supplies, while others volunteered their time to help clear the land. As the garden began to take shape, it became a focal point for the community. People gathered to plant seeds, water the plants, and share stories. Laughter filled the air as children played among the rows of growing vegetables. The project fostered a sense of unity and purpose, bringing together people from all walks of life. Meanwhile, the microloan initiative continued to thrive. More aspiring entrepreneurs came forward, each with unique dreams. A group of artists wanted to open a gallery to showcase their work, while a couple sought funding for a mobile coffee cart. Maria and Alexander carefully reviewed each proposal, eager to help turn dreams into reality. One evening, as they reviewed applications, Maria looked at Alexander with a thoughtful expression. "You know, we've helped so many people, but I sometimes wonder if we're reaching everyone who needs it. There are still so many out there who may not know about us or feel hesitant to ask for help." Alexander nodded, understanding her concern. "You're right. We should think of ways to raise awareness beyond our immediate community. Perhaps we could hold an open house event to showcase our entrepreneurs and invite the public." The idea ignited a spark of excitement. They set to work organizing the event, inviting local businesses, community leaders, and residents to come and learn about the shelter's initiatives. The goal was not just to showcase the entrepreneurs, but also to spread the message that kindness and support could uplift lives. On the day of the open house, the shelter buzzed with energy. Banners hung from the walls, colorful displays showcased the products and services of the entrepreneurs, and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the air. Maria and Alexander welcomed guests with warm smiles, eager to share the stories of the individuals who had benefited from their support. As people mingled, they were drawn to the different booths. James proudly displayed his bike repair work, while the young women with the catering business offered samples of their delicious dishes. The artists showcased their vibrant paintings, and the couple with the coffee cart served aromatic brews. The atmosphere was electric, filled with hope and possibility. Many guests were moved by the stories they heard, and the connections being made sparked new ideas for collaboration. Local businesses expressed interest in partnering with the entrepreneurs, providing additional resources and mentorship. As the day came to a close, Maria and Alexander stood together, watching the crowd. "We did it, Maria," Alexander said, his heart swelling with pride. "Look at the community we've built together." Maria nodded, tears of joy in her eyes. "This is what I dreamed of, a place where everyone feels valued and supported. We've created something special here." The success of the open house had far-reaching effects. People who had once felt isolated or overlooked now found a sense of belonging. Many individuals reached out to Maria and Alexander for assistance, and the shelter quickly became a beacon of hope in the city. In the following months, the community garden flourished, producing fresh vegetables that Maria decided to share with those in need. The teens who initiated the project took pride in their work and began organizing food drives to distribute the harvest to local families. It became a cycle of giving that deepened their sense of purpose. One day, as they gathered for a community dinner featuring the garden's bounty, Maria looked around the table at the diverse group of people who had come together. "This is the heart of our mission," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "Each one of you has contributed to creating this space of love and support." After dinner, they shared stories and laughter, reinforcing the bonds they had formed. Alexander felt a sense of contentment he had never known before. In fostering this community, he had found his purpose. As seasons changed, so did the shelter's initiatives. They began offering workshops on financial literacy, teaching individuals how to manage their money and create budgets. The demand for these classes grew, and the shelter became a hub for personal and professional development. One sunny afternoon, as Maria was tending to the community garden, a familiar face approached her. It was an older gentleman named Mr. Thompson, who had once frequented the shelter but had moved away to care for his ailing wife. He had heard about the growth of the shelter and wanted to see the changes for himself. "Maria," he said, his voice trembling with emotion. "I've missed this place. It feels like home." Maria embraced him warmly. "You're always welcome here, Mr. Thompson. Your spirit is part of what makes this place so special." As they walked through the garden together, Mr. Thompson shared his story of loss and healing. "I came to you in my darkest hour, and you showed me kindness. Now I want to give back. How can I help?" Touched by his offer, Maria and Alexander welcomed Mr. Thompson as a volunteer. He brought invaluable life experience, sharing his wisdom and offering guidance to those who needed it most. The shelter had transformed not only the lives of its residents, but also the lives of those who came to support it. Volunteers of all ages began to flock to Maria's haven, eager to contribute their time and talents. From artists painting murals to students tutoring children, the community thrived on the energy of those who wanted to make a difference. With each passing day, Alexander and Maria felt the impact of their efforts grow stronger. They saw families reunited, individuals finding jobs, and dreams becoming reality. The shelter had become a symbol of resilience, hope, and community. As the years went by, Maria's haven expanded its reach, partnering with other organizations to provide additional resources, such as mental health services and legal assistance. Alexander's influence as a philanthropist continued to grow, with people recognizing the importance of kindness in business and life. One evening, as the sun set over the city, casting a golden glow across the garden, Maria and Alexander stood together, reflecting on their journey. "We've come so far," Maria said softly. "But there's still so much more we can do." Alexander nodded, determination in his eyes. "And we will. Together, we'll continue to create a world where kindness thrives, and everyone has a chance to succeed." Their shared vision remained unwavering, and they knew that with every act of kindness, they were changing lives and inspiring others to do the same. The legacy they built together would echo through the community for generations, proving that even the smallest acts of goodness could lead to profound transformations. As they looked out over the flourishing garden, filled with laughter and life, they knew they had created something extraordinary, an enduring testament to the power of compassion and the strength of community. Together, they had planted seeds of hope that would continue to grow and blossom in the hearts of many, reminding everyone that kindness was indeed the greatest gift of all. As the seasons changed, Maria's haven became an even more integral part of the community, its influence spreading far beyond its initial mission. The shelter's garden flourished, producing an abundance of fruits and vegetables that not only fed the residents but also supplied local markets and restaurants. This initiative provided both sustainability for the shelter and income for the entrepreneurs involved. With the success of the garden, Maria and Alexander decided to host a harvest festival to celebrate their achievements and bring the community together. They envisioned a day filled with food, music, and activities, where families could come together to enjoy the fruits of their labor. Excitement buzzed in the air as volunteers began to prepare for the event, each person contributing their unique skills. As the festival day approached, the community rallied. Local musicians volunteered to perform, while restaurants agreed to set up food stalls featuring dishes made from the garden's produce. Children planned games and activities, and artists created colorful banners to adorn the shelter. The energy was infectious, and everyone was eager to contribute to the celebration. On the day of the Harvest Festival, the sun shone brightly, illuminating the vibrant scene unfolding outside Maria's haven. Families filled the garden, laughter and music mingling with the delicious aromas wafting through the air. Maria and Alexander welcomed guests, their hearts swelling with pride at what they had created together. As the festivities kicked off, they gathered the community for a brief speech. Maria stood before the crowd, her eyes shining with joy. Today, we celebrate not just the harvest but the strength of our community. Together, we have created something beautiful, a place where kindness flourishes and dreams take root. The crowd erupted in applause, and Alexander stepped forward, adding, "This shelter is a testament to the power of compassion. Every one of you has played a vital role in its success, and I want to thank you for your unwavering support. Let's continue to lift each other up." As the celebration continued, people mingled, sharing stories and forging connections. Maria and Alexander wandered through the festivities, soaking in the smiles and camaraderie that filled the air. They stopped by the booth of the young women who had started the catering business. "Your food is amazing," Maria exclaimed, savoring a bite of their signature dish. "Thank you. We've been working hard, and we can't believe how far we've come," one of the women replied, her eyes sparkling with pride. Just then, a little girl approached them, her face smeared with chocolate from the dessert booth. "Can I help too?" she asked, her voice filled with enthusiasm. "Of course. Would you like to help serve food?" Alexander suggested, kneeling to her level. "Yay!" she shouted, her eyes brightening. He gently guided her to the food stall, where she beamed as she handed out plates to delighted festival goers. As the day unfolded, the festival showcased the talents of many. Local artists held a live painting demonstration, capturing the spirit of the event on canvas. Children played games, and families gathered around tables, enjoying hearty meals and each other's company. The atmosphere was alive with joy and gratitude, a true reflection of the community's spirit. As evening fell, a local band took the stage, and the sounds of music filled the air. People danced and sang along, celebrating the sense of unity that had blossomed within the community. Maria looked around, her heart full, knowing that this was just the beginning of a long journey together. Later that night, as the festival began to wind down, Maria and Alexander gathered with the core team of volunteers who had worked tirelessly to make the event a success. They reflected on the day's accomplishments, each person sharing what the shelter and community meant to them. "I never thought I would be part of something so impactful," said James, the bike repair shop owner. "When I opened my shop, I felt like I was starting over, and now look at all of us, thriving." Maria smiled warmly. "That's the beauty of what we've built here. It's not just about individual success, it's about lifting each other up." As the team discussed future plans, the idea of expanding their initiatives emerged. They envisioned offering evening classes for adults, covering everything from cooking to coding. The need for job skills was evident, and they wanted to ensure that everyone had the tools necessary to succeed. Motivated by the festival's success, Maria and Alexander set out to secure additional funding. They approached local businesses and applied for grants, sharing their vision for expanding educational opportunities. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with many eager to contribute to the cause. As the shelter continued to grow, it became a model for other organizations in the area. Maria and Alexander were frequently invited to share their story at conferences and community meetings, inspiring others to replicate their approach. They emphasized the importance of community involvement and the power of kindness, encouraging everyone to find ways to support those around them. In the midst of all this, Maria's haven faced a new challenge. The city announced plans for a new development project that would threaten the land on which the shelter stood. The news sent ripples of concern throughout the community. Maria and Alexander knew they had to act quickly. They organized a community meeting, inviting everyone to discuss the situation. The room buzzed with anxiety, but Maria remained optimistic. "We've faced challenges before, and we've always found a way through," she said, her voice steady. "Together, we can advocate for our shelter and our community." With the support of local residents, they launched a campaign to protect the shelter. They gathered signatures, spoke to city officials, and organized peaceful demonstrations to raise awareness. The community rallied behind them, emphasizing the importance of the shelter in their lives. Days turned into weeks as they fought for their cause. News of the shelter's significance spread, drawing media attention and garnering support from influential figures in the area. A local news station even aired a segment highlighting the community's fight to preserve Maria's haven. In the end, their efforts paid off. After much negotiation, the city agreed to adjust the development plans, allowing the shelter to remain in its current location. The victory was celebrated with a community gathering, where everyone came together to rejoice in their shared success. "That's the power of unity," Alexander said, raising his glass to the crowd. "When we stand together, we can accomplish anything." As the celebration continued, Maria took a moment to reflect on the journey they had embarked upon. She felt a deep sense of gratitude for the community they had built, one rooted in kindness, resilience, and a commitment to uplifting each other. In the months that followed, Maria's haven not only remained a shelter but evolved into a symbol of hope for the entire city. The story of their fight resonated with many, inspiring other neighborhoods to come together and support their local initiatives. With each new challenge, Maria and Alexander stood firm in their mission. They continued to nurture the dreams of those who walked through the shelter's doors, proving that every act of kindness, no matter how small, could create ripples of change. Years later, as Maria walked through the bustling garden, now filled with a diverse array of flowers and plants, she felt a deep connection to each person who had passed through the shelter. Their stories had woven together, creating a tapestry of hope and resilience that would continue to inspire future generations. Looking out over the community, she realized that the true legacy of Maria's haven was not just the building or the garden, but the spirit of compassion that had taken root in the hearts of everyone involved. It was a reminder that together, they had created a place where kindness flourished, dreams were nurtured, and lives were transformed. And that was a gift that would last forever. As the years rolled on, Maria's haven continued to grow, adapting to the needs of the community it served. With the success of the garden, the shelter expanded its focus to include nutrition education, teaching families how to cook healthy meals using the fresh produce they had cultivated. Local chefs volunteered their time to lead cooking classes, sharing their expertise and passion for food with eager participants. One Saturday morning, Maria prepared for a cooking class that would feature recipes made from the garden's bounty. As she set up the kitchen, she reflected on how far they had come since the shelter's inception. It had transformed from a simple place offering temporary shelter into a thriving community center, rich with resources and support. As the participants arrived, Maria welcomed them with a warm smile. "Today, we're going to create delicious dishes using ingredients from our very own garden. I hope you're all ready to get your hands dirty and learn something new." The class was lively, filled with laughter and chatter as families chopped vegetables and stirred pots. Maria noticed a mother and daughter working together, their bond strengthening as they shared cooking tips. The joy in the room was palpable, and it reminded Maria of the importance of these moments, how cooking together could nourish not just the body but also the soul. As the class progressed, participants eagerly tasted their creations, sharing feedback and encouraging each other. One participant, a young father named Carlos, beamed as he tasted his dish. "I never thought I could cook something this good. I can't wait to show my kids." After the class, Maria gathered everyone around to discuss the importance of nutrition and making healthy choices. "Remember, the skills you've learned today can be shared with your families," she said. "Cooking together can create memories and foster healthier habits." The class was a resounding success, and word spread quickly. Soon, they had to schedule more cooking sessions to accommodate the growing interest. The shelter became a hub for nutrition education, promoting health and wellness in the community. As Maria and Alexander continued to innovate, they recognized the need for mental health resources as well. They began partnering with local therapists who offered workshops on stress management, coping strategies, and emotional well-being. It was essential for them to address not just physical needs but emotional ones too, understanding that a holistic approach was key to true empowerment. One evening, during a particularly moving workshop, a woman named Sarah shared her story. She had faced significant challenges in her life, including job loss and personal struggles. I felt so lost and alone, she confessed, her voice trembling. But being here has given me hope. I'm learning that I'm not alone, and I can rebuild my life. Maria listened intently, her heart aching for Sarah but also filled with admiration for her courage. You are not alone, Sarah, she said softly. We are all here for you, and we believe in your strength. Together, we can help you find your way. The support in the room was overwhelming, as others shared their own experiences and offered words of encouragement. It was in these moments that Maria realized the true power of community, the way it could uplift individuals and create a network of support that extended beyond the walls of the shelter. Months turned into years, and Maria's haven continued to thrive. The shelter became known not only for its resources but also as a place where people felt safe, understood, and valued. The successes of the entrepreneurs who had once walked through its doors inspired many others, creating a ripple effect of ambition and hope. As time went by, Maria and Alexander reflected on their journey together. They had achieved so much, yet there was still work to be done. I think we should start a scholarship program, Alexander suggested one evening as they sat in the garden, sipping tea. We've seen so many talented individuals with dreams but limited resources. A scholarship could help them pursue education or training. Maria's eyes lit up. That's a fantastic idea. It would open doors for so many people. We could partner with local schools and community colleges to identify candidates who would benefit the most. Excited by the prospect, they began to develop the scholarship program, outlining criteria and creating an application process. They reached out to local businesses and philanthropists, seeking funding to make the program a reality. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with many eager to contribute. The scholarship program launched to great fanfare, with a ceremony held at the shelter to celebrate its inception. Maria stood before a crowd of supporters, students, and community members, her heart filled with pride. This scholarship represents our belief in you, your dreams, your potential. We are here to support you every step of the way. As the first recipients of the scholarship were announced, tears of joy filled the eyes of many. Students who had worked tirelessly to achieve their goals were recognized and celebrated, and the energy in the room was electric. Among the recipients was Lisa, the girl who had first approached Maria about starting the community garden. I can't believe this is happening, she said, her voice shaking with emotion. Thank you for believing in us. This opportunity means everything to me. As the years continued to unfold, Maria's haven became a beacon of hope, drawing attention from far and wide. Other organizations sought to learn from their model, and Maria and Alexander were invited to speak at various conferences and community events, sharing their journey and the importance of kindness and support. Throughout it all, they remained grounded in their mission. Maria often reminded herself that their work was about people, not just programs. Each person who walked through the doors had a story, a dream, and a reason for being there. It was essential to honor that. As the shelter grew, so did their family. Maria and Alexander welcomed new team members, each passionate about making a difference. They cultivated a culture of compassion, ensuring that everyone felt valued and inspired to contribute. One day, as they were brainstorming new initiatives, a young intern named Aisha raised her hand. I have an idea for a mentorship program, she said, her voice filled with enthusiasm. We could connect experienced professionals with people looking to enter the workforce or shift careers. It would be a great way to build connections and provide guidance. Maria's face lit up. That's a brilliant idea, Aisha. Mentorship can make such a significant difference in someone's life. Let's develop a plan and see how we can implement it. With renewed energy, they worked together to outline the program, recruiting mentors from various fields who were eager to give back. The mentorship program launched to enthusiastic participation, fostering valuable connections between experienced professionals and those seeking guidance. As the shelter continued to flourish, Maria found herself reflecting on the path they had traveled. She often thought back to that initial moment when she had opened the doors of Maria's haven, unsure of what lay ahead. Now, it was a vibrant community of support, love, and resilience. Years later, Maria stood in the garden, now an established oasis filled with flowers, vegetables, and laughter. Children played, families gathered for picnics, and friends shared stories. She felt a deep sense of gratitude for everyone who had contributed to this beautiful tapestry of life. As she gazed around, she realized that Maria's Haven was more than just a shelter, it had become a sanctuary for hope and healing. Each person who had entered its doors had left a mark, contributing to the legacy of kindness that would endure for generations. Feeling inspired, Maria gathered her team one sunny afternoon to discuss their next steps. "We've built something incredible here, and I believe we can expand our impact even further," she said, her passion igniting the room. "Let's explore the possibility of creating a network of shelters across the city. We can share our resources and expertise, helping more communities thrive." The team erupted in applause, energized by Maria's vision. They immediately began planning how to approach this ambitious goal, conducting research and reaching out to potential partners. The dream of a network of shelters blossomed, fueled by their unwavering commitment to making a difference. As they embarked on this new chapter, Maria's Haven remained a shining example of the transformative power of kindness, community, and love. Together, they would continue to plant seeds of hope, nurturing lives and creating a brighter future for all. And through it all, Maria knew that with each act of compassion, they were building a legacy that would echo in the hearts of many for years to come. As the initiative to expand Maria's Haven into a network of shelters gained momentum, the team dedicated countless hours to research and planning. They reached out to other organizations, sharing their successes and lessons learned along the way. Maria and Alexander held community meetings, inviting residents to share their thoughts and ideas about what support systems were needed in different neighborhoods. With each conversation, it became clear that while the core mission of providing shelter remained vital, the needs of each community varied significantly. Some areas expressed a desire for mental health services, while others focused on job training and educational resources. Maria emphasized that their model could be flexible, adapting to the specific needs of each neighborhood they aimed to serve. As they worked diligently to gather resources and establish partnerships, a local philanthropist named Mr. Carter reached out, expressing interest in supporting their vision. He had witnessed the impact of Maria's Haven firsthand and wanted to contribute to their expansion. After several meetings, they formed a partnership that would significantly enhance their capacity to provide support. Mr. Carter introduced them to a network of businesses willing to offer funding, mentorship, and job placements for the communities they planned to serve. This collaboration sparked new ideas and possibilities, and Maria felt a renewed sense of hope. With financial backing and community support, they could truly make a difference. As the groundwork was laid for the new shelters, Maria organized a series of workshops to train potential managers and volunteers. They emphasized the importance of empathy and understanding in creating a nurturing environment. Each participant brought their own unique perspective, fostering an inclusive atmosphere where everyone could learn and grow. In the midst of their busy schedules, Maria and Alexander found time to reflect on their journey. One evening, as they strolled through the vibrant garden that had become a symbol of hope, Maria turned to Alexander. "Can you believe how far we've come? It feels like just yesterday we were trying to make sense of our initial vision." Alexander smiled, his eyes filled with warmth. "It's incredible, really. And to think it all started with a simple idea of helping those in need. But it's the community that has truly brought this to life." Maria nodded in agreement, her heart swelling with gratitude. "I'm so thankful for everyone who has believed in us and contributed to this journey. Each person has played a vital role in shaping our story." As the months passed, they successfully launched their first additional shelter in a nearby neighborhood. They carefully selected a location that was accessible to the community and began outreach efforts to inform residents about the services available. Maria and her team organized a grand opening event, inviting families, local leaders, and supporters to celebrate this new chapter. On the day of the grand opening, excitement buzzed through the air. The shelter was filled with colorful banners, laughter, and the tantalizing aromas of food from local vendors. As Maria stood before the crowd, she felt a sense of purpose wash over her. "Today, we are not just opening a new shelter, we are opening our hearts to new possibilities," she said, her voice resonating with passion. "Together, we can create a space where everyone feels valued, heard, and empowered." This is just the beginning. The applause that followed was thunderous, echoing the community's support. Maria introduced several guests, including local leaders and businesses who had contributed to the initiative. Each person shared their enthusiasm for the project, emphasizing the importance of coming together to uplift one another. As the day progressed, attendees toured the new shelter, exploring the various resources available: a cozy kitchen for cooking classes, a counseling room for mental health support, and a vibrant community space for gatherings and workshops. Children played in the outdoor area, laughter filling the air as they enjoyed games and activities. One woman approached Maria, her eyes shining with gratitude. "I can't thank you enough for this. My family and I have struggled for years, but knowing we have a safe place to turn to means everything." Maria smiled warmly, her heart swelling at the impact they were making. "We're here for you, and we believe in your strength. Together, we'll navigate this journey." As the new shelter thrived, they began to establish more locations, each one tailored to the unique needs of the communities they served. With every opening, the network expanded, fostering connections and collaborations among local businesses, schools, and organizations. In the midst of their success, Maria found herself reflecting on the core values that had guided them from the beginning. Compassion, resilience, and community support remained at the forefront of their mission. She and Alexander made it a priority to regularly engage with residents, ensuring that their voices were heard in shaping the services offered. Years later, during an annual community celebration, Maria took the stage once again. The crowd was larger than ever, filled with families, supporters, and individuals whose lives had been transformed through the network of shelters. "I stand before you today, not just as the founder of Maria's Haven, but as a member of this incredible community," she began, her voice steady with emotion. "What we've built together is not just a series of shelters, it's a movement of love, support, and hope. Every smile, every success story is a testament to what we can achieve when we come together." As she spoke, Maria looked out over the crowd, her heart swelling with pride. She spotted familiar faces, those who had once walked through the doors of the shelter in need, now thriving and giving back to the community. Each story was a reminder of the transformative power of kindness. After her speech, attendees mingled, sharing stories of hope and resilience. Maria made her way through the crowd, connecting with individuals whose lives had been touched by the shelter. She listened to their journeys, each one a testament to the strength of the human spirit. Later that evening, as the celebration continued, Alexander joined Maria under the stars. "You know, I think we've created something truly special here," he said, wrapping an arm around her shoulders. "It's a legacy that will continue to inspire others long after we're gone." Maria smiled, feeling a sense of fulfillment wash over her. "It's not just about us. It's about every single person who has contributed to this journey. Together, we've created a foundation of hope that will echo through generations." As they stood there, gazing at the community they had nurtured together, they realized that the heart of Maria's Haven was not just in its walls or programs, but in the relationships they had built, the bonds formed through shared experiences, love, and support. And so, as the stars twinkled above, Maria and Alexander knew that their mission would continue. They would always strive to uplift and empower those around them, ensuring that the spirit of compassion and community remained at the core of everything they did. As the years rolled on, Maria's Haven continued to flourish, serving as a beacon of hope and resilience in the community. The network of shelters expanded into multiple neighborhoods, each one tailored to meet the unique needs of its residents. Maria and Alexander worked tirelessly, often late into the night, to ensure that every detail was attended to and that the spirit of compassion remained at the forefront. One day, during a routine check-in at one of the new shelters, Maria encountered a young woman named Emily. She was a recent graduate struggling to find stable employment while caring for her younger siblings. Maria noticed the worry etched on Emily's face and approached her with genuine concern. "Emily, how are you doing? Is there anything we can do to support you?" Maria asked. Emily hesitated, then confessed, "I've applied to so many jobs, but I haven't heard back. I feel overwhelmed, and I worry about how to provide for my siblings." Maria placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "You're not alone in this. We can help you refine your resume and practice for interviews. Let's work together to boost your confidence." Over the next few weeks, Maria and Alexander organized workshops focusing on job readiness, inviting local professionals to share their insights and experiences. Emily participated wholeheartedly, and with each session, her confidence grew. Maria watched with pride as Emily transformed from a timid participant into a vibrant, engaged individual, ready to take on the world. Eventually, after several interviews, Emily received a job offer at a local nonprofit organization. Tears of joy streamed down her face as she shared the news with Maria and the team. "I did it. I can finally support my family." The celebration that followed was filled with laughter and cheer, and Emily's success inspired others in the shelter. It was a reminder of the transformative power of community support, and Maria felt her heart swell with pride. They were not just helping people find jobs, they were building lives and futures. As the shelter network grew, Maria decided to implement a mentorship program specifically for young adults like Emily. She reached out to professionals in various fields, inviting them to volunteer their time to guide and support young people navigating the challenges of adulthood. The mentorship program launched with great enthusiasm, pairing mentors with men's based on shared interests and goals. Maria watched as connections blossomed, with young adults gaining not just practical advice but also encouragement and a sense of belonging. One of the most heartwarming moments came when a mentor, Mr. Thompson, an executive at a local tech company, began working with a young man named Jake. Jake had struggled academically but had a passion for technology. Under Mr. Thompson's guidance, Jake not only improved his grades but also secured an internship at Mr. Thompson's company. At the end of the internship, Jake approached Maria, visibly excited. "I've learned so much, and Mr. Thompson has offered me a full-time position once I graduate. I can't believe this is happening." Maria's eyes sparkled with joy. "That's incredible, Jake. You've worked hard, and this is just the beginning of your journey." As the mentorship program thrived, Maria received countless testimonials from participants, each one reinforcing the impact of their efforts. It was moments like these that fueled her passion and commitment to continue expanding their reach. Meanwhile, Alexander had been working on an initiative to establish partnerships with local businesses. He believed that by collaborating with companies, they could create job opportunities and training programs specifically designed for shelter residents. His idea was met with enthusiasm from local leaders, and soon, Maria's Haven had forged relationships with several businesses eager to support their mission. One day, during a meeting with local business owners, Alexander pitched the idea of a job fair hosted by Maria's Haven. "This will not only connect our residents with potential employers, but also showcase the talent and skills within our community," he explained. The business owners were excited about the prospect, and plans quickly took shape. The job fair was scheduled, and Maria felt a mix of anticipation and nerves. They had been working diligently to prepare their residents for this opportunity, and she hoped it would be a turning point for many. On the day of the fair, the community center buzzed with energy. Tables lined the room, each representing a different business, ready to meet prospective employees. Maria welcomed residents, encouraging them to take advantage of this opportunity. She emphasized the importance of making a good impression and being authentic. As the fair unfolded, Maria watched as individuals interacted with employers, showcasing their skills and experiences. She felt a surge of pride as she noticed Emily confidently conversing with a representative from a local healthcare company. Hours later, as the fair came to a close, Maria noticed the hopeful expressions on many faces. It was evident that connections had been made, and potential job offers were on the horizon. When the last of the attendees left, she gathered her team for a debrief. "What a successful day," she exclaimed, beaming at her team. "Thank you all for your hard work. We've provided our residents with a chance to take another step forward in their lives." The room erupted in applause, a testament to their collective efforts. They celebrated their successes, knowing that this was just one of many initiatives to come. As Maria's Haven continued to grow, it became a model for other organizations seeking to make a difference. Maria and Alexander were invited to share their story at conferences across the country, where they inspired others to create their own initiatives rooted in compassion and community support. One day, after returning from a conference, Maria reflected on how much had changed since the early days of the shelter. "Can you believe how far we've come, Alexander?" It feels like we've created something truly meaningful, she said, her heart full. Alexander nodded, his expression thoughtful. Absolutely, Maria. But I believe we have even more to accomplish. There are still countless individuals who need support, and our work isn't done yet. Maria agreed, knowing that their journey was ongoing. They began brainstorming new ideas and initiatives, eager to continue their mission of uplifting those in need. In the following months, they launched a new program focused on mental health support, recognizing the critical role it played in overall well-being. They partnered with local therapists who volunteered their time, offering workshops and counseling sessions for residents. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with many individuals expressing gratitude for the resources now available to them. Maria felt a sense of fulfillment as she witnessed lives changing for the better, thanks to the support they had worked so hard to provide. As the years passed, Maria and Alexander's legacy continued to grow. They were not just creating shelters, they were nurturing a movement of compassion and empowerment that resonated throughout the community. Their work inspired others to take action, and they watched as neighboring cities began to implement similar initiatives. One evening, during a community gathering at the shelter, Maria looked around at the faces of those who had been touched by their work. Families, friends, and supporters had come together to celebrate their shared achievements. The atmosphere was filled with laughter, joy, and a profound sense of belonging. Maria took the stage once more, her heart brimming with emotion. Thank you all for being here tonight. Each of you plays an essential role in this journey. Together, we are building a brighter future, one filled with hope, kindness, and love. As she spoke, the crowd erupted in cheers and applause, a chorus of gratitude and support. Maria felt a deep sense of purpose wash over her, knowing that they were creating a lasting impact that would resonate for generations to come. And so, as the night wore on, they celebrated not just their achievements but the bonds forged through shared experiences, struggles, and triumphs. Maria and Alexander understood that their journey was far from over. It was merely the beginning of a beautiful legacy rooted in the power of community and the unwavering spirit of compassion. As Maria and Alexander continued to build on their foundation of compassion, they decided to launch an annual community festival to celebrate the achievements of their residents and raise awareness for their ongoing mission. The idea was to create a space where the community could come together to showcase local talent, share stories of resilience, and foster connections among families, businesses, and support organizations. Months of planning ensued, and excitement buzzed through the air as the festival date approached. Maria and her team organized a wide variety of activities, from art exhibitions to talent shows, cooking competitions, and workshops on various topics. They invited local musicians to perform, and even arranged for food vendors from nearby businesses to set up stalls, ensuring a vibrant atmosphere filled with laughter and camaraderie. On the day of the festival, the park was transformed into a lively hub of activity. Colorful banners adorned the trees, and the smell of delicious food wafted through the air. Families set up picnic blankets on the grass, eager to enjoy the festivities. Maria watched as children played games and adults chatted, all while local artists displayed their work. As the opening ceremony began, Maria took the stage, her heart swelling with pride at the sight before her. Welcome, everyone. Today, we celebrate not just the work we've done, but the incredible community that makes it all possible. Each of you has a story, a journey that deserves to be recognized and shared. The crowd erupted in applause, and Maria felt the energy of their support. She introduced several residents who had been significantly impacted by Maria's haven, inviting them to share their stories. Each individual spoke passionately about their experiences, detailing how the support they received had changed their lives. One of the speakers was Emily, who stood confidently at the microphone, her voice steady. I once felt lost and overwhelmed, but thanks to the support I received, I now have a job that I love and a future I can believe in. Maria's haven is more than just a shelter, it's a family. Tears of joy filled Maria's eyes as she listened to the stories of triumph. This was what their mission was all about, empowering individuals to rewrite their narratives and reclaim their lives. After the speeches, the talent show began, showcasing the diverse skills of the community. From musical performances to dance routines, it was a celebration of creativity and passion. Maria couldn't help but smile as she watched the joy on everyone's faces, knowing that they were all part of something bigger than themselves. As the sun began to set, the festival continued to thrive. Families enjoyed delicious food, children participated in games, and laughter filled the air. Maria took a moment to step back and reflect on how far they had come since the inception of Maria's Haven. Each festival, every new shelter opened, and every life changed was a testament to the power of community. In the following months, the festival became an annual tradition, growing larger each year. The event not only celebrated the achievements of those who had benefited from Maria's Haven but also raised funds to support future initiatives. The community came together in a spirit of collaboration, understanding that their collective efforts could create lasting change. As Maria and Alexander looked ahead, they began to explore new avenues for outreach. They recognized that while they had made significant strides, there were still many challenges to overcome. Together, they brainstormed ideas for additional programs that could provide further support to their residents. One day, during a planning meeting, Alexander suggested the idea of a second chance program. We could create a space for individuals who have faced barriers, such as those with criminal records or histories of addiction, to gain the skills and support they need to reintegrate into society, he proposed. Maria's eyes lit up at the thought. That's brilliant. Everyone deserves a chance to rebuild their lives. With the right support, we can help them find employment and stability. They quickly set to work, reaching out to local organizations specializing in rehabilitation and workforce development. They also organized training sessions to help individuals develop marketable skills. As the program took shape, they saw a wave of enthusiasm from the community, with many volunteers stepping forward to mentor participants. The first cohort of the Second Chance program began with a mix of nervousness and hope. Maria and Alexander welcomed each participant, assuring them that they were there to support them every step of the way. As they shared their stories, Maria was struck by the resilience and determination in each individual's eyes. Over the following weeks, the program flourished. Participants engaged in workshops focused on resume building, interview skills, and financial literacy. They also received emotional support, learning coping mechanisms and strategies for navigating challenges. Maria often joined the sessions, sharing her own journey and encouraging participants to embrace their potential. Your past does not define you. It's what you choose to do today that shapes your future, she would say, her words resonating deeply with the group. As individuals began to find employment, the impact of the program rippled through the community. Those who once felt hopeless were now thriving, with many returning to share their success stories and inspire others. One day, as Maria was wrapping up a session, a young man named Marcus approached her. "Thank you for believing in us, Maria. I just got hired at a local construction company. I never thought I'd have a chance like this," he said, his voice filled with gratitude. Maria felt tears of joy welling in her eyes. "I'm so proud of you, Marcus. This is just the beginning, and I can't wait to see where this journey takes you." With each success story, Maria and Alexander were reminded of the profound impact they were making. They understood that their mission was about more than just providing shelter, it was about fostering a sense of belonging, hope, and empowerment. As the years continued to unfold, Maria's Haven became a cornerstone of the community, inspiring others to take action and create positive change. Maria and Alexander's vision had transformed countless lives, and the legacy they built would resonate for generations. One evening, as they sat on the porch of their original shelter, watching the sunset, Maria reflected on their journey. "Can you believe everything we've accomplished? It's incredible how a small idea can grow into something so impactful." Alexander smiled, taking her hand. "It's a testament to the power of community and the belief that together, we can achieve anything." In that moment, they knew their journey was far from over. There were still lives to touch, stories to write, and a community to uplift. With unwavering determination, Maria and Alexander continued to forge ahead, committed to spreading love, hope, and opportunity wherever they went. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the shelter, Maria and Alexander sat in comfortable silence, reflecting on the journey they had undertaken. The laughter of children playing in the yard and the chatter of families sharing meals filled the air, a reminder of the vibrant community they had helped to cultivate. In that moment, Maria turned to Alexander, her eyes shimmering with gratitude. It's amazing to see how far we've come, but I know there's so much more we can do. Every day, I meet people with stories that need to be heard, dreams that need to be realized. Alexander nodded, his expression serious yet hopeful. You're right. Our work will never truly be finished. There will always be challenges, but as long as we keep our hearts open and our community close, we can face anything. As the last light of day faded, Maria took a deep breath, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. Let's keep expanding our vision. Perhaps we can start an initiative focused on mental health support or even vocational training for those who are looking to build a career. With every idea they exchanged, their excitement grew, and they felt a spark of inspiration igniting within them. They had created something beautiful together, but the path ahead was still ripe with possibilities. In the weeks that followed, Maria and Alexander set out to explore new avenues, seeking partnerships and gathering resources to make their ambitious plans a reality. They held community meetings, inviting residents and local leaders to share their thoughts and ideas. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and soon, new programs began to take shape. As they worked tirelessly, the festival they had established now served not just as a celebration, but as a platform for awareness, advocacy, and inspiration. Each year, more people attended, drawn by the message of hope and the tangible change they could witness in their community. Years later, as they stood together in front of the now expanded Maria's Haven, with its thriving shelters, mentorship programs, and supportive initiatives, Maria felt a swell of pride. The once small idea had blossomed into a life-changing movement. Look at what we've built, Alexander, she said, her voice filled with emotion. This is just the beginning. We've created a legacy of compassion, and I believe it will continue to grow. With a gentle squeeze of her hand, Alexander replied, and it will thrive because of the love and commitment we've poured into it. Together, we've made a difference, and that difference will ripple through the lives of many more. As they looked out over the community, filled with families, laughter, and hope, Maria realized that the heart of their mission was not just about the structures they had built or the programs they had implemented. It was about the connections formed, the lives touched, and the belief that, together, they could overcome any obstacle. In that moment, under the vast sky, Maria and Alexander made a silent promise to continue their work with unwavering dedication. They knew that their journey would be filled with challenges, but with each step they took, they would strive to uplift those around them, fostering a community where love, kindness, and opportunity would always prevail. And so, hand in hand, they stepped into the future, ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing that as long as they had each other and their community, there was no limit to the good they could achieve.